Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. If the New York Yankees end up losing Cody Bellinger this offseason, the pivot they could make might just redefine the direction of their team in ways that are both unexpected and, honestly, pretty thrilling to think about. With John Heyman of the New York Post reporting that the Yankees have been checking in on left-handed pitcher Framber Valdez, it seems like there could be a Plan B quietly taking shape in the Bronx, one that would give the team a formidable weapon on the mound, even if they fail to retain the star outfielder. The situation with Bellinger has been tense for weeks, with talks largely at a standstill, and it feels increasingly clear that Scott Boras might be playing a strategic waiting game, seeing if the Kyle Tucker market heats up and forces teams who miss out to challenge the Yankees' reported 5-year, $155 million offer if Boras ultimately decides to hold out and Bellinger goes elsewhere. The Yankees' pivot to Valdez could suddenly look like one of the most intelligent, under-the-radar moves of the offseason, but for now, the possibility still exists that the two sides finalize their reunion, and in that case, this entire thought experiment becomes moot. Still, imagining a world where Bellinger departs opens up a fascinating conversation about how the Yankees could restructure their strategy and potentially build one of the most dominant rotations in baseball with a few clever moves. Looking closer at Framber Valdez, the numbers from last season paint a picture of a pitcher who is both reliable and highly effective. Across 31 starts for the Houston Astros, Valdez posted a 3.66 ERA and a 3.37 FIP, which translates to steady run prevention and the ability to eat innings without putting unnecessary strain on the bullpen. Those metrics, importantly, are consistent with his performance over the last 6 seasons. Even though his ERA last year was his highest since 2019, this suggests that he is not likely on the verge of a sudden, dramatic decline, and that teams looking at him are getting a clear, realistic read on his ability to perform at a high level. What makes Valdez particularly appealing is the arsenal he brings to the mound. His sinker, which boasts exceptional movement, is the highlight of his repertoire. But it's the complementary curveball and changeup that really allow him to dominate when he reaches 2 strike counts. In an era where strikeouts are so valuable and starters who can navigate deep into games are rare, Valdez offers both durability and the capacity to consistently miss bats, a combination that would make him an immediate asset for a team like the Yankees if they lose a cornerstone like Bellinger. Beyond the basic stats, Valdez brings proven value in terms of wins above replacement or WAR, having posted at least for WAR in 3 of the last 4 seasons. He has also thrown a minimum of 175 innings in that same 4-year span, signaling both consistency and health to factors that are extremely important for teams evaluating free agents. Pairing him with someone like Max Fried would create a left-handed tandem capable of anchoring a rotation in a way that could intimidate any lineup, while the presence of Jarrett Cole and Carlos Rodon would turn a strong staff into something approaching elite. Critics might point to the potential excess of left-handed pitchers, particularly with someone like Ryan Weathers in the mix. But the Yankees have the luxury of knowing that talent trumps handedness. We've seen examples recently, such as the Phillies' playoff rotation, where 3 lefties form the backbone of a first-place WAR and ERA rotation despite injuries in that postseason. Elite left-handed starting pitching pushed even the vaunted Dodgers lineup to the brink, underscoring that elite talent on the mound is far more critical than the conventional wisdom about needing a balance of right and left-handed starters. Of course, number player is without potential concerns, and Valdez does come with one clear red flag: temperament. The infamous incident where he threw at his own catcher following a Trent Grisham grand slam while with the Astros was not just a one-time lapse, but part of a pattern where he is known to display his frustration openly on the mound. Some scouts and analysts might even label him a diva, which could explain why teams have historically been cautious about pursuing him, despite his clear talent. Reports indicate that the Orioles and Red Sox, for example, showed more interest in Ranger Suarez, even though Suarez's velocity and overall production have been on a decline, suggesting that Valdez's temperament may have weighed more heavily in evaluations than his actual on-field results. For the Yankees, however, this might be a manageable risk. Aaron Judge has demonstrated time and again the ability to keep strong personalities in check, having successfully navigated locker rooms with players like Marcus Stroman, Josh Donaldson, and Alex Verdugo. If Judge gives his blessing and the front office structures the deal properly, Valdez's fiery demeanor may never become more than a headline, and the team could enjoy the benefits of a top-tier pitcher without the downsides that might concern other franchises. Financially, Valdez represents a flexible option for the Yankees if they decide to pursue him. A 3-year deal with an annual average value similar to what Cody Bellinger is reportedly being offered, around $32 million per season, could come with opt-outs after each year, allowing the Yankees to reassess depending on performance. In addition, having Valdez on the roster opens up potential trade opportunities with players like Will Warren, Elmer Rodriguez, or Luis Gil as trade assets. The Yankees could package talent to bring in a complementary bat, essentially creating a scenario where the hole left by Bellinger's departure is not only filled, but potentially exceeded. This approach demonstrates the strategic depth the Yankees possess. Even in the event of losing a marquee player, they have the resources and vision to pivot quickly, combining smart free agent acquisitions with savvy trades to remain competitive and even improve the roster in surprising ways. Thinking about this in the context of the broader Yankees vision, the Valdez pivot represents more than just a single signing. It signals a team willing to innovate, take calculated risks, and balance star power with pitching depth. If Bellinger departs, the narrative may initially feel like a loss, but the potential upside of securing a durable, high-performing left-hander like Valdez, while retaining the ability to pursue additional offensive pieces through trades, positions the Yankees for sustained success. When you pair him with an already formidable rotation, including Cole, Rodon, and possibly Fried, and combine that with a lineup capable of producing elite offensive output, the Yankees could emerge as the team to beat. Even if the headlines initially focus on Bellinger's departure, in a way, the Yankees' Plan B could be just as thrilling, if not more so, than Plan A, giving fans a reason to feel confident that the organization is both forward-thinking and fully prepared to adapt to whatever the offseason throws their way. Ultimately, this scenario reminds us that baseball is as much about strategy and adaptability as it is about individual star power. Losing a player like Bellinger would undoubtedly sting, but the Yankees' potential pivot to Valdez illustrates a forward-thinking approach, where pitching depth and flexibility take center stage. It also underscores the nuanced decisions that front offices must make, balancing talent, personality, contract structure, and trade potential to create a team that can contend for a World Series not just this season, but for multiple seasons ahead. Fans often get caught up in the headlines about big free agent signings, but the reality is that the teams that succeed year after year are those that can pivot intelligently when circumstances change, and in this case, the Yankees could turn what initially feels like a loss into an opportunity to strengthen both the rotation and the overall roster. If Valdez does end up in pinstripes, and if the Yankees can leverage their additional assets to bring in complementary pieces, the 2026 Yankees could very well be a team that combines elite starting pitching, strategic offensive acquisitions, and the leadership needed to navigate a long, grueling season successfully, creating a roster that is not only competitive but formidable on every level. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. The baseball world is buzzing with what could only be described as seismic speculation. Whispers have emerged linking the New York Yankees to Kyle Tucker in a move that insiders are already calling historic. For months, the rumor mills have churned quietly, with the usual murmurs of trade talks and front office maneuvering barely making it past the press boxes and podcast circuits. But now, it seems, the tide has shifted. Sources close to the situation hint that the Yankees are not just casually interested, but actively orchestrating a strategy that could reshape the landscape of Major League Baseball. Kyle Tucker, known for his prodigious power at the plate, his combination of speed and disciplined hitting, and a defensive presence in the outfield that commands attention, is suddenly the centerpiece of a storyline that has every team watching nervously, particularly those whose pitching staffs might soon find themselves under unprecedented pressure. The mere possibility of Tucker donning pinstripes has sent shockwaves through locker rooms across the league, and one can almost hear the collective sighs of pitchers realizing that facing him would no longer be a hypothetical nightmare but a tangible reality. The chatter among insiders suggests that this is not just a simple acquisition. It could very well be an audacious declaration of intent by the Yankees. Over the past few seasons, the franchise has made headlines for aggressive moves, targeting elite talent with a mixture of draft picks, top prospects, and strategic trades. But few whispers have carried the intensity that surrounds Kyle Tucker's potential move. The Yankees, a team always under the microscope, seem ready to pivot in a way that acknowledges the shifting balance of power in the league. If the rumors hold water, the implications extend far beyond New York for pitching coaches and other organizations. The specter of facing Tucker every series could demand a complete recalibration of strategy, pitch selection, and even mental preparation. Analysts have already begun speculating that a Tucker-led Yankees offense might force teams to rethink conventional pitching rotations, bullpen usage, and even defensive alignments. The phrase pitchers in panic is being thrown around more than usual. And while hyperbole is common in baseball rumor culture, the source of this particular worry is grounded in statistical reality. Kyle Tucker's ability to hit for power, reach gaps, and steal bases presents a multi-dimensional threat that few pitchers enjoy facing multiple times in a series. Adding fuel to the speculation fire is the context in which these rumors have emerged. The Yankees, known for their ability to leverage both financial might and historical prestige, are rumored to be considering a deal that would involve multiple high-profile prospects and perhaps even a marquee major league player in return. While the specifics remain murky, insiders suggest that the talks are serious, structured, and potentially fast-moving. The very notion that the Yankees are contemplating a blockbuster that could rival some of the most talked-about trades in the last decade has caused a ripple effect throughout the league. Scouts, general managers, and analysts are reportedly scrambling to reassess valuations, consider counteroffers, and even brace for a potential domino effect, in which multiple teams are compelled to adjust their long-term strategies. The implication is clear. The Yankees are not just chasing a star. They are potentially setting a precedent for how far a team will go in pursuit of immediate championship contention, while the Yankees' front office remains characteristically tight-lipped. The speculation has already begun to infiltrate fan communities, social media threads, and sports talk shows. The reaction is a mixture of excitement, disbelief, and tactical anxiety. Fans imagine the impact of pairing Kyle Tucker with existing power hitters, projecting offensive metrics that, on paper, seem almost unfair. Meanwhile, the opposing teams are reportedly considering the logistical nightmare of adjusting pitching schedules and defensive plans to counter a lineup that could suddenly include one of the league's most feared hitters. The psychological dimension cannot be underestimated. Pitchers facing a potential Tucker-led Yankees offense might feel an added layer of pressure that goes beyond mere stats. The very aura of speculation, the rumor of a historic acquisition, carries weight. It shapes preparation, alters strategy, and in some cases, can even affect performance before a single pitch is thrown. Industry insiders hint that the momentum behind this potential trade is accelerating. Conversations that once took place in whispered corners of executive offices are now reportedly happening with more frequency, with serious attention given to the timing, the financial implications, and the long-term strategy of integrating Kyle Tucker into the Yankees roster. If this deal materializes, it could redefine the concept of a blockbuster trade, not merely for the Yankees, but for Major League Baseball as a whole. Analysts have begun to debate not only the immediate impact on lineups and rotations, but also the broader ripple effects across free agency, contract negotiations, and team-building philosophy. There is a growing sense that the Yankees are positioning themselves not merely as contenders, but as architects of a narrative that will dominate off-season discussions for months. The intensity of speculation is such that even tangentially involved teams are reportedly preparing contingency plans, pondering the worst-case scenario in which a rival suddenly gains a transformative talent while their own plans remain static. Fans and commentators alike are also speculating about the cultural impact within the Yankees clubhouse. Integrating a high-profile star like Kyle Tucker is not merely a logistical exercise. It has implications for leadership dynamics, clubhouse chemistry, and the balance between veteran presence and emerging talent. Rumors suggest that some members of the Yankees' existing roster are energized by the possibility, envisioning the lineup transformations and the competitive edge it could bring. Others, particularly pitchers on rival teams, are bracing for a heightened challenge. There is a psychological edge to be gained from rumor alone, and the Yankees appear to be adept at leveraging every aspect of the game, from player acquisition to media narrative, to maximize that advantage. Whether Tucker's potential arrival will culminate in immediate dominance or a slow-burn integration is a topic of ongoing debate. But the sheer magnitude of the discussion underscores the historic nature of the speculation. Moreover, the financial dimensions of such a move are staggering to contemplate. The Yankees, known for their willingness to invest heavily in talent acquisition, might be preparing a package that combines prospects, salary commitments, and creative structuring that could set a template for future deals. The rumor is not simply that the Yankees want Kyle Tucker. It is that they are prepared to bend convention, challenge norms, and possibly reshape market expectations. This has caused executives at other clubs to analyze their own payroll flexibility, prospect depth, and willingness to engage in similarly audacious maneuvers. The conversation has grown to encompass not just what this means for the Yankees and Tucker, but how it might redefine the upper limits of trade ambition in baseball as speculation continues to mount. The narrative has taken on a life of its own. Commentators describe the unfolding situation as a mix of strategic chess and high-stakes poker, with the Yankees holding potentially the strongest hand, but needing to carefully play each card to secure the prize. The tension is palpable, not only in New York but in every city with a vested interest in how the league hierarchy might shift. Pitchers, analysts, and fans alike are left wondering whether this is the prelude to a monumental acquisition or merely a tantalizing rumor that will fizzle before it reaches fruition. Yet the mere idea that Kyle Tucker could be a Yankee, a linchpin in a lineup designed to challenge history, has captured imaginations, driven speculation to fever pitch, and set the stage for a storyline that will dominate conversation, analysis, and strategic planning for weeks, if not months. If this rumor becomes reality, it would not just be a trade, it would be a statement. A declaration that the Yankees are not content with incremental improvement. They are aiming for nothing less than transformational impact. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.